Hi, tonight I'm going to show you how to make some fleece flowers. I have been trying to make this poncho for my granddaughter, and the poncho calls for little Scotty dogs to go around the bottom of the poncho. Well, I didn't want the Scotty dogs, so I went online and I looked up how to make these fleece flowers, and everybody that describes how to make them uses one of those cutting machines. Well, I didn't have one of those cutting machines, so I just cut some flowers from my stencils out of parchment, and I tried to put them on my fleece and cut them out like that, and it was very difficult. This probably took me a good 2 hours, and I really wasn't even happy with the technique. I did this manually by hand. I did this one, and I couldn't, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get smooth edges on all my cuts. So finally it dawned on me to try one of my quilting techniques. A couple years ago, well, more than a few years ago, I made 2 Mario Brothers and 1 Pokemon quilt for my grandsons, and I used the freezer paper method. So I thought, well, why don't I try the freezer quilting technique on these flowers? So I pulled out my freezer paper. This is regular Reynolds freezer paper, plastic coated. I got the big box because I used so much of it, but you can just try and get the smallest box if you want to use this technique as you can. And basically what I did was I used my stencils. If there was a flower on there that I could use, and I just took the stencil and I drew my flower on top of my freezer paper. So I'll do one of those for you so you can see how I did it. And this is just a regular six petal flower. Okay, so then I cut that out. So there's one flower on top of the freezer paper. So then I didn't have a good selection of flowers on my stencils, so I went online, and there's a website called www.clicker.com, and they'll let you use their clip art. It's all free, and it's royalty free. So I downloaded some of their patterns, and this is some of the ones I clicked on it, and then I right-clicked and I printed it. And the first time I printed them, they came out very, very small. This one is called the Sakura. So what I did was to make these flowers out of them, I put them on my printer, and I enlarged them. This one I enlarged 300%. This one I enlarged 270. And this was the original size of how it printed out. And this is what I ended up with. I ended up with the same shape in 3 different sizes. And that's how I got this flower. So what I did is I can go ahead now and just keep changing these around, and then keep adding layers and layers until I'm happy with the final product of whatever I'm going to do on that flower. Another thing I did was I was playing around, and I made these shapes up, and I thought, okay, I'm going to try and glitter them up, but I wasn't thinking at the time, because by putting this glitter on now, I've made this non-washable. So if my granddaughter's going to wear this poncho, she's going to have to get washed eventually, so I can't use this glitter because this is Studio G glitter and it's not washable. So I'm going to have to use this for something else. Another thing I was thinking about maybe was just taking these little flowers and taking the poncho and running the flowers up the side of the poncho all the way around, all the different colors of the fleece flowers, and I thought that would be cute too. But there's just, I'm just playing around to see what I can come up with. So anyway, I like this. This was the Buttercup I got that off of the same website, and that's what this flower is here, and I'm really happy with it. So this is a pretty one. So I could do the same thing with this one. I could shrink it, enlarge it as many times as I want, to whatever size I want to use it. Okay, so let me show you how I did it. If I was a stencil I've done, okay, now this one I just took off the internet. This is the periwinkle. I did like the periwinkle, but standing on its own without being appliqued onto something, I don't think it's strong enough to hold itself up. So what I did was I took my layers and I punched a little hole in them and then cut them out. And I took the shank of the button that I'm using and I put the button through, so if I'm going to sew this on the poncho, I'll be able to sew the shank and use it like that. This is the periwinkle, and I did that in the 2 sizes. And I just put a regular 5-petal flower in the middle with a shank button. So that's one option too. But I don't know if this will hold up well. If you're going to applique this down onto the poncho, it would probably be better than just letting it, because I'm afraid when it gets washed, it's going to go like this, and who knows what it's going to look like in a couple months. But that's another option. And this one is the same thing, only I used my pinking shears instead of scissors. And you get a completely different look with your pinking shears also, so you might want to mix it up and do some pinking shear flowers. They're kind of cute too. But anyway, okay, so here's my freezer paper. That was with my stencil. This is with my printed pattern off of the internet. So I'm going to place it underneath my freezer paper and I'm going to trace it out. You don't have to be exact because flower petals are not exact. You'll never get a perfect flower petal. It'll look perfect, but it's not, you know. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so there's my flower. So I'm going to cut that out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat my iron up. And I'm going to get my, this is going to sort of stick to the fabric, so you want to not have too much extra paper in the way, because then you'll just have to, you know, pull it off. Just get as close to the pattern as you can. Okay, so I'm going to put these here. Okay, so I'm going to make one of these in purple, and I'm going to make this one in yellow, just for a variety. I'm going to grab my purple, and I'm going to use a little spot, whatever I have. You can go as little as you want to, as you can. I've got some tiny little flowers. I don't know, I have a little green one around here somewhere, but I got some tiny little flowers I can use. Okay, so let me see where I can put this. I'll put this up in the corner. Okay, you want to go really quickly. You don't want to let it sit on the paper and fleece too long. I've got my iron set for just one setting higher than the middle. Okay, and it's very quick. This is the quilting technique. Okay. Alright, it's fused. It's already stuck to the fleece. Fleece, if you know about fleece, there's 2 sides to fleece. You have a nice side, and then you've got the pile side where you can actually see the little lumps of piles in there. I've been working on this, and it seems to work better if you do it on the smooth side. Get my pink out. Okay, so there's the pile side. Here's my smooth side. I'm going to take the big one now, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Okay, I got a little too close to that. See how I have paper still left over? Okay, just peel it off. It'll come right off the fleece. Okay, so now I've got that. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut. You could just cut all the way around the top of the petals. This works with any design. It doesn't have to be flowers. You can do cars for boys. You can do anything. Like I say, it doesn't have to be flowers. Okay, so I'm just going to cut in on this. Next one. Next one. You can cut in and then up. It's whatever you're comfortable doing. I like to go to a point and then come back the other way, but you can do it either way. Should have done an easier flower for demonstration purposes. But okay, alright, so now I'm going to come in the other way and hit that point. So before I pull the paper off, I can turn it over and see if there's something I don't like, and there is some things I don't like, so now I'm going to fix them. Okay. And I'm going to just peel my paper off. And there you go. Because you're dealing with the fleece, you might have those fuzzes on there, so you might want to just take your little clipper and get them off. That's just fleece. It's just how you're going to work with fleece. There's no getting around it. Okay, there we go. Okay, same with the purple, the pink one. See how I trimmed it off and I cut? Not a problem. Just cut around it. In fact, you can shape and cut at the same time. You don't have to be exact on these. But I gotta tell you that doing it like this is so much time saving compared to doing it with trying to pin it down with a pattern on top. It's just, it was taking me too long. I said, I'll never get this done. Okay. Oh, there you go. And peel. And there I've got I forget what the name of this flower is. Anyway, here it is, buttercup. Yeah, buttercup. Okay, so there's that. That was the flowers. Now you have the flowers made up. One thing I want to tell you is, see how I got a little purple on there from when I did the purple one? That's the way you want. That's the way it's going to look. If you iron it and it comes out really, really dark. Let me see where that one is that I messed up. I did one, the first periwinkle, I put the iron on way too hot, and see how the color transferred to the paper? That means my iron number one was too hot, and I ironed it way too long because the color actually transferred, and you don't want that. You just want it to come out like this. So it's still white. It's still white. You know, I have a little bit of fuzz on there, but nothing like this. That means don't do it like that. It means you're burning the paper into the fleece. So another thing you can do now is decide how you're going to, what you're going to put in the middle of your flowers. I was kicking around a few ideas. One was the shank buttons, like this little dress it up strawberry. And then I thought, okay, I can use my gem tack, my fabric glue that's washable, and put a flower, a dress-it up flower with a little silver and gold and little bling in it, and that would be cute. But then again, washing it over and over, will it fall off? I don't know. So then I saw these, I have these little white pearls, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just sew some white pearls in the middle and give it a little pearl center. And I thought, well, that would be pretty, and you don't have to worry about the pearls coming out. So that was an option too. And then I thought, okay, I'll just go with buttons. So then I went and got some pretty heart-shaped buttons out, or the shank buttons. So I didn't know. I don't know how exactly I'm going to do the flower centers once I have it on the actual poncho. But those are just some ideas you can use. And then here's the little star hearts. That's just kind of cute too. It depends on how fancy you want to get. This might be a little too fancy for the poncho. Okay, well anyway, that's it. That's how I'm. That's what I'm working on. But I hope it helps you make. Because you can make pillows for your dolls. You can make a. You can fancy up a doll bed. All kinds of stuff with these flowers, and they're easy. And all you got to do is use your freezer paper. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.